Modeled after LEED, PEER is the first rating system that measures and improves power system performance and electricity infrastructure. PEER encourages the adoption of reliable, resilient and sustainable practices. This helps utilities solve aging infrastructure, find cost savings, share best practices, build for resiliency and enhance tracking to determine and prevent failures. A PEER certification signifies that a system is resilient in the face of disasters, reliable in their ability to meet everyday needs and sustainable in a way that prioritizes efficiency and mitigates the impacts of climate risk. And the organizations who choose to pursue PEER certification for their projects and campuses indicate their commitment to these important pillars. One such leader is Delhi International Airport Limited, also known as DIAL, a consortium led by GMR Group. With the debut of Terminal 3, which added 5.4 million square feet of space, the airport can now handle more than 70 million passengers per year. Of course, the busiest airport in India cannot afford to have unreliable power. With the determination to create a new terminal that was as energy efficient and reliable as possible, DIAL's Terminal 3 became the first airport in the world to achieve both PEER Platinum and LEED Platinum certification.
Typically, in any industry which is on a fast growth, you should measure the energy efficiency more in terms of a specific energy consumption. So we have been doing a lot of work across the years to actually improve our energy efficiency. So when actually we started evaluating that how do we know that what we are doing is good enough, how do we measure against some of the best practices in the world, then PEER came as one of the good options because it has got a very strong framework.
PEER can actually give us interventions on when and where we need to actually look into so that the quality of the power, the reliability of the power, resilience of the power are actually in place. It's a good tool, it's a good organization who can actually support us, and there is actually an end-to-end support.
It's not about energy efficiency, it's about bottom line. It actually helps me reduce my cost. It helps me improve the environment, the life of the people who actually work at the airport, the life of the passengers who come to the airport. In GMR, I know for sure that everywhere we will be actually looking at this kind of a certification which actually helps improve our energy efficiency.
DIAL has proactively taken steps to reduce their carbon emissions by adopting airport carbon accreditation, procuring off-site renewable power and installing on-site solar PV.
35% of the current portfolio is actually on a renewal and 7% of that is coming from solar. Going forward, in the long term, we actually plan to see whether we can actually get 100% renewable coming into place. Of course, the index which is actually coming in as part of the PEER will actually help us to actually see how we measure and how we take it forward.
Thanks to the work of the IGIA, DIAL achieved carbon neutrality under ACI's Airport Carbon Accreditation in 2016. Recently, DIAL has upgraded its accreditation to Level 4+ transition as the first airport in the Asia Pacific and only the second airport globally.
We are actually doing a lot of work to ensure that energy conservation through various processes to be actually done. Well, participating in those kind of smaller initiative which brings into a larger initiative of reduction in energy, which is actually a larger part of our annual operating plan.
DIAL has developed reliable power infrastructure through the implementation of redundant distribution systems and automated power restoration techniques. In fact, 76% of the project's infrastructure has an alternate source of power to keep the airport functioning in case of emergencies. DIAL continually monitors the quality and consistency of their power infrastructure through an advanced metering system which helps mitigate poor power quality events and smooths the process for users.
Airport is a 24 hours running entity. So we can't actually have at any time a loss of power. So in the planning stage itself, we have adopted various redundancies, quality of the system and technologies to ensure that continuous power and monitoring of that power is actually there.
Annually, Dial has achieved energy savings of 2.3 million units and a cost savings of 70 million rupees or 970,000 US dollars through the pursuit of peer and LEED credits. Peer aims to support global grid modernization efforts and to inspire, influence and enable the energy sector to truly build a real 21st century infrastructure. Dial is a living example of how these efficiencies can benefit all involved.
Long term, reducing energy consumption is actually one of the most important things. Whether it is an airport, whether it is any part of the industry, even at home, we need to actually depend more on a renewable source rather than actually a fuel which is actually going to diminish or deteriorate in the long term. So I will say that with a peer, everybody is actually going to have a better world in going forward.